Lord, I come, yes, I come to receive my blessing. Patiently waiting for the harvest is mine. I got the Hebrews 11:1. Collecting all of my blessings, yeah, God is mine.
First time I ever saw sing that.
Jesus is all over me, all over me, all over me. Yeah, he's keeping me alive, keeping me alive, keeping me alive, all over me, all over me, all over me, all over me. I said, ain't nobody but Jesus. Ain't nobody but Jesus. And he's keeping me alive. I said again, I said he's all over me, all over me, all over me. And he's keeping me alive, keeping me alive today, keeping me alive, all over me, all over me, all over me, all over me. I said ain't nobody but Jesus. Ain't nobody but Jesus. And he's keeping me alive. Yeah, you know I could have been all over me, somewhere sleeping in my grave, all over me. Oh, you, Jesus, keeping me alive. Ain't no damn step back, yeah, keeping me alive. Right in the middle of this morning, all over me. He stopped by and shook my body, all over me. Well, I said, ain't nobody but Jesus. It wasn't 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 nobody but Jesus. Oh, it wasn't nobody but Jesus. I remember when I was nobody but Jesus. Couldn't pick myself from nobody but Jesus. Then I called the nobody but Jesus. He reached down to pick me up. Nobody but Jesus. I said it wasn't nobody but Jesus. It wasn't nobody but Jesus. I remember when I was nobody but Jesus. Didn't think that I was gonna get nobody but my Jesus. And I prayed to the nobody but Jesus. I got a testimony. Nobody but Jesus. I said it wasn't nobody but Jesus. Said it was nobody but Jesus. Have you ever been nobody but Jesus? Doctor said that you wasn't gonna nobody but Jesus. Then you called on nobody but Jesus. You ought to have a testimony. what He's done for me. Gave me the victory. I love Him. I love Him. And I really love the Lord. You don't know for me. You just don't know what He's done for me. You just don't know what He's done for me. You just don't know what He's done for me. You just don't know what He's done for me. You don't know what He's done for me. Do I have a witness in the building this morning? No. What has it been a bridge over troubled waters? That food been this morning? Has it been your rose of Sharon? Has it been your bright and morning star? I need to know, has He been your waymaker this morning? Have you cried yourself to sleep at night and not knowing just how things were going to be in the morning, but you gave it over to Jesus and He made everything already there. Anybody here who knows that God will make a way somehow? Is there anybody here who knows that He will be that bright tomorrow? Is there anybody here who knows that God will supply my every need? Is there anybody here this morning that can testify that God is? God is alright. Is there anybody here? Let's give God some glory this morning because He's been better to us than we've been to ourselves. For me, you don't know what He's done for me. Gave me the victory. And I love Him. I love Him. And you love the Lord, y'all say amen.
Certainly thank God for another expression of His love. For God has truly been good to us and has spared our life and have allowed our golden moment to roll on a little while longer. We certainly thank God for just being God. For God is God all by Himself. And we thank God for Jesus, who paid a debt that He did not owe, because we owed a debt that we could not pay. And we thank God for Jesus because while we was yet sinners, He died for us. Certainly we thank God for the Holy Spirit that He has given to us to guide us, keep us, and to comfort us. We thank God for each and every one of you, His children, and for those who have led the song, read the scripture, said the fervent prayer. Thank God for just being here this morning. This is a good place to be. Yes, sir. Good place to be. I'd rather be here than to be laying up in one of the finest funeral homes. I'd rather be here this morning than be in the best of hospitals. It's a privilege to be here. One more time. If you're visiting with us, we want you to know that you are our honored guest, that your presence is an enhancement to this worship setting. If you're looking for a church home, we invite you to become a part of the Southview family. Certainly good to see Brother Ben back in our Of course, it's a great joy to see Sister Rome. God is good.
Yes, He is.
God is good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For a few minutes, if you have your Bibles, turn with me to the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel, Daniel chapter 5. We're going to be talking from the whole chapter within our lesson. Our lesson deals with the whole chapter, but for the sake of time, We'll read verses 1 down to verse about 7. But in the privacy of your home, we want you to read the whole chapter.
Amen.
Daniel chapter 5, verse 1. Belshazzar, the king, made a great feast to 1,000 of his lord, and drunk wine before the 1,000. Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessel, which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple, which was at Jerusalem, that the king and his prince, his wives, his concubines may drink therein. Then they drank to the God. Then they brought the golden vessels that was taken out of the temple of the Lord's house, which was at Jerusalem. Verse 4, then they drank wine and praised the God of gold and silver and brass and iron and wood and of stone. In the same hour came 4 fingers of a man's hand and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaster of the walls of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thought troubled him, so that his joint of his loin was loose, and his knees smote one against the other. The king cried aloud, bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans and the soothsayers. And the king spake and said to the wise men of Babylon, whosoever shall read this writing, show me the interpretation thereof, shall be clothed with scarlet, and have a golden chain about his neck, and shall be third ruler in the kingdom. Verse number 3 again. Then they brought the golden vessels that was taken out of the temple of the house of God, which was at Jerusalem, and the king and his princes and his wives and concubines drunk in them. And they drank wine and praised the God of gold, silver, brass, iron, wood, and stone. Belshazzar is now having a party.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But Belshazzar never thought about what would happen when the party was over. He lived just for the moment. Never thought about when the party was over. We're going to talk this morning for just a few minutes on the thought, what you going to do when the party is over. What you going to do when the party is over. We have here this morning a story about Belshazzar in Daniel chapter 5. One of the saddest stories in the whole entire Bible. As we look at this man by the name of Belshazzar, this chapter gives us just a small glimpse of his life. We're introduced to him while he was throwing a wild party.
Yes, sir. Come on, Doc.
He had invited 1,000 of his lord, and Belshazzar was like many people today. They live for the weekend. They live life just for the party. They live life for self-gratification. They live life just to satisfy the flesh. They party. They play. They live for the good time. Living just for the weekend. You'll hear me talk about how the eagle fly on Friday. Living for the weekend. They never stop to ask the most important question in life, and that is, what you gonna do when the party is over? What you gonna do when the good time ends? What you gonna do when the fun and the game is over? What you gonna do when the party and the whining and dining is over? In this chapter, chapter 5, if chapter 5 was a play, It would be a tragedy play. In fact, chapter 5 would be a 3-part play. It would be a part opening up with the tragedy of this man's life, Belshazzar. He lived a tragic life, Belshazzar, as we view this play this morning. Curtain number 1 open. And as the curtain opened, Act 1 began. Belshazzar wasted life. Belshazzar and his bottle. Belshazzar lived a night of drunkenness. He whined and he dined. He had a good time. He celebrated. But Belshazzar never thought what would happen when the party was over. So many people today, they live for the fun in life. They live for the good time in life. Many times just to pacify the things that they're going through in life. When they're having problems, sometimes they'll go to the bottle. But I stop by to tell you the bottle doesn't solve your problem. Because when you finish drinking everything in the bottle, the problem is still there. May I remind you, pills won't solve your problem. Because when you done popped every pill in the bottle, your problem is still there. May I remind you, weed won't solve your problem. Because when you done smoked up all the weed, marijuana, reefer, Mary Jane, Acapulco Gold, you know what I'm talking about. When you done smoked it all up, your problem is still there. But I stop by to tell you what we need to do. We need to focus on what we're going to do when this life party is over. Somebody have said life is one big party. But I want to tell you the party one day we're in. Belshazzar life with the bottle. But then Belshazzar life as he blasphemed. In our text today, Belshazzar began to drink. And when Belshazzar began to get drunk, he thought about those golden vessels that his grandfather had taken from Jerusalem, from the house of God. And Belshazzar shouted out, bring forth the golden vessels that come from Jerusalem, that came from the God of the temple house, that my grandfather Belshazzar brought. They brought to him the golden vessels that came from God's house. And Belshazzar began to drink wine to the God of gold, the God of silver, the God of brass, and made no mention of the God Jehovah. Notice verse number 2. Verse number 2, Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded the golden vessel, the golden and silver vessel, to be brought to him that was taken from Jerusalem. Verse 3 said they drank to the God of gold. They brought the golden vessels. Notice that. Verse 4, they drank wine and praised the God of gold, silver, brass, iron, wood, and stone, and made no mention of the God of Jehovah. He left God out. While he toasted to the God of gold. While he toasted to the God of silver. While he toasted to the God of wood and the God of brass. The real true God, Jehovah. He left him out. May I remind you, it's a tragic life when you can live your life to other gods and leave the real God out. When you live your life and you toast to other gods. When you live your life and you give respect to other gods. When you live your live and every day you observe other gods, but make no recognition of the true God, Jehovah, you're living a tragic life. Your God could be automobiles. It could be houses. It could be land. It could be money. It could be people. But whatever your God is, you should never put your God before the real God. He left God out. He blasphemed against God. He should have known about God. He could have known about God, but he didn't know about God. Notice verse 17, chapter 5, verse 17. It said, then Daniel answered and said before the king, thy gift be for thyself. Give thy reward to another. Yet I will read the writing to the king and make known to him the interpretation.
Yes, sir.
O king, the most high God gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom and majesty and glory and honor. For the majesty that he gave him, all people, nation, language, trembled and feared before him. Now notice now, whom he would slay, whom he kept alive, and whom he would set up, and whom he would put down. But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind was hardened in pride, he disposed from him his kingdom and his throne, drove him out. And he goes on to say he drove him out to make him live with the wild animals, grew hair like bird feathers, and fingernail like bird claws. He said, but King Nebuchadnezzar finally recognized the true God. And you knew about the real God, but you failed to recognize God. In other words, Nebuchadnezzar lived a life of blasphemer. He lived a life not recognizing God. What you mean, preacher? What you're saying? Well, when you can live your life every day and don't recognize God. When you can live your life and God give you 7 days a week. And you won't take out 2 hours within a week to come and worship God. When God give you food on your table, and you won't even say praise before you eat the food. When God bless you to get up in the morning, and you get up and get dressed and go to work and never say, thank you, Lord, for another day. You're blaspheming against God. There's come a time in our life when we need to give God recognition. When we need to let God know that God is God. What you gonna do when the party is over? King Belshazzar, he lived a bad life. Matter of fact, he lived a wasted life. What a tragedy it is to live a wasted life. The prodigal son wasted his living. But the good thing about it, he came to himself and returned back to the Father's house. Matter of fact, Belshazzar is the only king that the Bible says so little about and have nothing good to say. Even Saul. Saul took his own life in the heat of the battle. But the Bible will tell us that Saul was a great warrior. Yes, David, he took another man's wife, had the man killed. But the Bible do say he's a man after God's own heart. Yes, Solomon, heart was turned from God at the end. Had 700 wives and 300 concubines. But yet the Bible said Solomon built God a temple. The Bible has something good to say about every king except Belshazzar. He said so little. His life started off with a party, and his life ended with a party. All his life was a party, and God had nothing good to say about it. I've been to funerals where when time came for the remark, nobody had nothing to say. I seen it when nobody had nothing to say. Everybody sit there and nobody had nothing to say. Most of all, not only did people have nothing good to say, but I stopped by to tell you the most tragic thing about life is when God have nothing good to say. I wonder what will happen to them. I wonder what will happen to them. When they roll you down the aisle. When they go through the marching of the family in. They have that song. Old and New Testament scripture. And then they have a prayer.
All right.
Then they have another song.
Yeah.
And then they come down to remarks.
Uh-huh.
I wonder,
Well, wait.
what could they say?
Come on now. Come on.
What could they say about your life? Is there anything good that somebody could say?
All right.
Could they say they was a kind person?
All right.
They was a considerate person?
All right.
Would they say they was a helpful person?
All right.
Would they say they was a kind person? Would they say they was a good and loyal friend?
Well, wait.
What could your preacher say?
All right.
What would I say?
Come on now. Come on.
If you put me on the spot.
Well, wait.
Brother Jefferson, folks tell me all the time, Brother Jefferson, I want you to do my funeral.
Yeah.
Well, what could I say?
Yeah.
What could I say? Could I say they was a faithful member?
Well.
Could I say they was a giving member?
All right. All right.
They was a working member. They was a caring member. They cared about the church. They was faithful to God. They came when they could. They gave what they could. They loved the Lord and their fellow man. What could I say?
All right.
Curtain number 1 closes.
All right. All right.
Act 1 ends. Act 1, the tragic life, close. Act 2 begins
Come on now.
as the curtain opened.
All right. All right. All right.
The tragedy of the wrath of God. God answered to a tragic life. God answered to a tragic life.
Yeah.
When you live a life without God,
Come on.
I didn't say know about God,
Yeah.
because Belshazzar knew about God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Belshazzar knew about Jehovah. But when you live a life and leave God out,
Come on now.
God has a final say. I know you're grown. I know you 7 times 3 and some more.
Good job.
But I stop by to tell you, God will have a final say.
Amen.
I know you live your own life. I know you make your own decision. I know you live by your own rules. I know you're a man. I know you're a woman. But I stop by to tell you, in all of your being grown, God have this final word. Preacher don't have the final word. Brothers and sisters, friends, family, mother and father don't have the final word. You don't have the final word. God have the final word.
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you, God have an answer.
Oh, yeah.
The wrath of God. In our text, as Belshazzar drunk to the god of wood, gold, silver, brass, and left God out. As God was left out, as Belshazzar recognized others, other things, and recognized other people, he left God out. Lord have mercy.
Come on now.
How many of us? We got time for our job,
Yeah.
but we leave God out.
Come on now.
We got time for our family, but we leave God out. We got time for our friends, but we leave God out.
Come on now.
And I'm not telling you that you should live a bored life and you shouldn't go nowhere and do nothing. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying in all of your going, in all of your doing, you ought to have some time for God. God wrath. As they drop to other gods. The record said there came forth the fingers of a man's hand. Belshazzar, no doubt, has seen hands with no fingers. But he never seen fingers without a hand. It wasn't the hand right, but it said the fingers
Yeah.
of a man's hand.
Yeah.
And as those fingers wrote on the wall,
Come on.
Belshazzar could see the handwriting on the rock wall.
Yeah.
Many take care of you, Father. Many take care of you, Father. Belshazzar began to tremble.
Yeah.
Knees rubbing together.
Yeah.
Shaking like a scared man. Here was Belshazzar, king, now scared. Here was Belshazzar who thought that his kingdom was going to live forever scared. Here is Belshazzar now having to face an awesome God. The heavenly jury have convened. They have come up with their decision. Belshazzar is guilty, and God is about to announce his verdict. Can I tell you, the wrath of God is about to come upon Belshazzar. Many take care of you, fossils. Number way divided. God tell Belshazzar, many take care of you, fossil. He didn't understand what it meant. He called in the smooth sailors. Called in the astrologers. He called in all those who could read and interpret things. But they couldn't interpret the handwriting on the wall. Well, his grandmother, the queen, said, Belshazzar, fear not. There is one who by the name of Daniel. You know, God always got somebody that can give you the answer. Daniel can tell you the interpretation. Your grandfather, King Nebuchadnezzar, had a dream. Daniel interpreted that dream. Daniel was summoned in. Belshazzar said to Daniel, if you interpretate my dream, if you interpretate the handwriting on the wall, I make you third ruler in the land. Daniel said to King live forever. You can keep your gift. Being third ruler don't mean nothing when your kingdom is about to end tonight. You can keep your gift, but I will interpretate the dream thereof. Many take care of you, fossil. Number way divided. In other words, king, your day is numbered. And you've been weighed in the balance of life and came up like it. And God is going to divide your kingdom among the Medes and the Persians. Can I tell you, God's wrath is surely going to come. Because sin will never be overlooked. Either your sin will be pardoned in Christ or punished in hell. But it will not be overlooked. God's wrath come upon Belshazzar. Well, act number one, a wasted life. Act number two, God's wrath. Act number three, as number two ends and the curtain closed on number two, act three begin, the curtain open for the last time. And as it opened, we see the tragedy of a wretched death. He lived, he was judged, he died. Can I tell you, we're all going to die one day. I know we don't like to talk about it, but you're going to die one day. Hebrew 9 and verse 27, it is appointed unto man once to die. And after this is the judgment. You're going to die one day. I don't care how good of a doctor you got. You're going to die one day. I don't care how much vitamin you take. You can take one a day every day. You're going to die one day. You can walk, you can run, you're going to die one day. You can eat good, eat healthy, become a vegetarian, you still going to die one day. Because it is appointed unto man once to die. But that's not the end of the story. After death is the judgment. Belshazzar died a sudden death in the night. While the party was going, Belshazzar died that night. While Belshazzar's party was going, the enemy was encamped around Babylon. Belshazzar believed that Babylon was safe. Belshazzar believed that Babylon was safe from enemy. Belshazzar believed that Babylonia was the place to be. Theologians tell us that the Babylonians had food. Enough food in Babylon for 20 years. Belshazzar thought he was safe. Babylon was surrounded by high walls, some as high as 300 feet. There was guards on towers. They thought Babylon was unconquerable. Soldiers on the wall. They thought that even if they had to stay shut in, they would be good for at least 20 years. But what they didn't realize, that King Darius and his troops was on the outside, detouring the water of the Euphrates, because the Euphrates ran around Babylon. But they detoured the water so that it could go around another way. And then when the water level got low enough, they walked under the wall and went on in Babylon. I stopped by to tell you that you can't keep death out. I better say that again. You can't keep death out. You can lock your doors. You can lock your windows. Have an alarm put in your house. Have your shotgun. Have your 347. Amen. But I stopped by to tell you, you can't keep death out. Death coming in uninvited. Death coming in at an inconvenient time. Death always come in when you're not ready. But I stopped by to tell you, you ought to be ready. You may not know when death comes, but you ought to be ready. You ought to live so that if death comes tonight, I may not want it to come, but I will be ready. Death may come tonight. It may inconvenience me, but I will be ready. Death may come tonight, may catch me off guard, but I will be ready. Will you be ready? Belshazzar died. And God divided his kingdom between the Medes and the Persians. I got to leave you, but I want to tell you everything you got. One day going to belong to somebody else. I don't care who you are. Here with King Belshazzar. Out of all he had, now is about to die. And the Medes and Persians is about to take over. One thing I like about Daniel, before I get to that point, when Daniel showed up, first of all, he gave Belshazzar a history lesson. Told him about his grandfather. How that God brought him down. How Nebuchadnezzar was lifted up in pride. But God brought him down. And then when he gave him a history lesson, he gave him a theology lesson. And the theology lesson was that God is God. And God will bring you down. If you humble yourself, God will pick you up. But if you lift your own self up, God will pull you down. He died. Everything he had now belonged to somebody else. There was a rich fool in the Bible. One day God blessed him. And he said, look at what all I got. I'm going to tear down my old bummer. Build me greater bummer. And said to myself, you got much laid up for many years. But God said to him, thou fool, tonight, just like Belshazzar, tonight you're going to die. Then whom shall these things be? I stopped by to tell you everything you got. One day going to belong to somebody else. You take pride in what you have. But don't you put all your trust in everything you got. Because one day God is going to either take it from you or you from it. And somebody else is going to possess what you got. Yes, I know you're living, you're working hard, this and that, and you got to try to make ends meet so you can pay for that house. But don't leave God out. Because one day that house will belong to somebody else. I know you got to work, you got to do this, you got to hustle, and you got to make ends meet because you got a car note to make. But don't leave God out. Because one day that car will belong to somebody else. And if somebody else don't drive it, I reckon y'all gonna get it. It's gonna belong to somebody else. Everything gonna belong to somebody else. So what we're gonna have to do is live our life for God. A tragic life. The wrath of God. And then the death. That's how life is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's how life ended with Belshazzar. A tragic life. How many of us here today living our life like Belshazzar? How many of us, our young folks, listen.
Right.
Life is more about whining and dining, living for the weekend, trying to get to Atlanta for down there in Atlanta for whatever they be going down there for. You know what they going down there for. They go in the summertime. Y'all don't know? Well, you don't need to know if you don't know. That's it. That's it. Life is more than that. Ernest know about it. Amen. Matter of fact, you're going down that way Alabama next week. Life is more than that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Young folks, many of you older folks used to be like that. Used to live for the weekend. Used to hit up every club. Amen. When they turn the lights on and tell you you got to leave, they tell you don't have to go home, but you got to get up out of here. You go to the next one. You go to the next one. Amen. Go to the next one. And when they put you out, you try to find another one. And you live for the weekend. And you get up and Monday, amen, sleep all Sunday. Then you get up Monday, go to work because you got to have some money. And you got to get some new clothes because you can't wear what you wore last weekend. Amen. You know what I'm talking about. Can't wear the same thing. They can't see you in the same thing twice. Amen. So you go to work because you got to get a paycheck because you got to get some clothes. Because the party gonna be on, and you plan on them seeing your face in the place. And if they don't meet you there, amen. If they don't beat you there, they can meet you there. You know how you talk. Then Sunday you sleep. You get ready for work. You do the same thing that week to make some money. You go to the party again the weekend, sleep Sunday, get up Monday, go to work, you know, and you left God out, but thanks be to God. Thanks be to God. Many of us ought to have a praise on our tongue. Thanks be to God that God brought us through. And God delivered us. He delivered you. We ought to be a testimony to the young folks. Let them know that there's more to life than whining and dining and partying. And you can look back over your life and see the money you wasted, see the time you wasted, see the life you wasted. It was a wasted life. But God gave you another chance. God gave you another chance. Belshazzar never had another chance. His life ended that night at the party. So many of us, we can relate to some folks who life ended at the party.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The gun started shooting. Somebody's life was taken at the party.
Amen.
But thanks be to God, God spared your life.
Amen.
And allowed you to come to your senses. To know that life is more than just a party.
Amen.
That there's life after the party. And when the party is over and when you're dead and gone, life is still going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Young folks,
Come on down. All through. Yep.
Solomon put it this way.
Yeah.
He said, while you're young, enjoy your life. Enjoy it, but don't never forget about God.
That's it. That's it.
Try to get the best out of life. but never leave God out. Remember now thy Creator, even in the days of thy youth. In other words, out of all you're doing, keep God in your plan. And when it's all said and done, God can say something good about you. Never live your life so that, and you should never want to live your life, so that when you're dead and gone, nobody have nothing good to say about you. But most of all, God have nothing good to say about you. I know some folks say, I don't need no friend, and I don't mind my own business, I ain't gonna fool with nobody, I don't want nobody to fool with me. I'm just stay to myself. But God don't want us to live that kind of life. God wants us to be friends. And if you want a friend, you got to first show yourself friendly. And God wants us to mix and mingle. And God wants us to save the lost. He wants us to feed the hungry. He wants us to clothe the naked. He wants us to help shelter those who are homeless. God wants us to work while it is day. When nighttime comes, that's death. No man can work. But when nighttime comes, it ought to be something good that somebody can say. As I leave you, I just wonder what I'm going to say. When I was looking at this lesson, when I was getting it together, I thought about each and every one of you. I thought about the flock at Southview.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I thought about the members. I thought about each
Yes, sir.
and every one of y'all.
Yeah. Come on, Doc.
And I thought about if I was challenged to do your eulogy,
Yeah.
what would I say?
Come on, Doc.
I really thought about that.
Yeah.
I thought about it. Philip, what would I say? I thought about bait. What's Jimmy Bait? What would I say?
Yeah. Come on, Doc.
I thought about each and every one of y'all. I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
What would I say?
Yeah.
Could I say something good, or could I just be honest and just say, well, they didn't fool with nobody. Nobody fooled with them. They was a loner. They would never give. They would never work. Would never be on no committee. Wouldn't bring no food. What would I say? I wonder. Could I say they was a good number? They was faithful. They done what they could.
Yeah.
They worked when they could.
Yeah.
They came to church when they could. What would I say? What would other members say? You see, we don't ever think about that. You see, we don't think about what would be said when I'm dead and gone.
Right.
There are some members here.
Come on, Doc.
Can I just be
Come on, Doc.
honest this morning, Miller? Church, honest. There are some members that don't even come to church enough for me to even learn their name.
Right.
They come to church and one time,
Well,
walk down the aisle, want to become a member, and then they come 1 or 2 times, and then you don't see them no more.
right.
And then 8, 9, 10 months later, I run into them.
Right.
And Brother Jefferson, you remember me? I said, I think I do. Now help me. I joined your church. That's how they talk. I joined your church. And I don't even know them. But those who come and those who work and those who are faithful and they're tender, I know you.
Yeah.
I see you. And when I see you in Walmart, I recognize you.
Right.
But there are some who come, went down in the water grave of baptism,
Come on, Doc.
came 1 or 2 times, never got involved, never participated,
Right.
and then just like Belshazzar, they left the scene just as quick as they came.
Right.
And then one day somebody gonna come. Say, Brother Jefferson, I want you to do so-and-so funeral because they was a member of your church. That's how they talk, your church. Now, I ain't got no church down there. Get that straight. But they weren't a member. They was a member. How would your legacy be? How will your legacy be? Will you live a life so that when you die, people will cancel their plans to come to give you your respect? They'll take a day off so that they can come to the last memorial service.
Right.
Or will they say, well, I got to go to work. I know I'm off today, but I got to go do my shopping. Will they care less? I'm talking about a tragic life. You see, sometimes family won't even show up.
Amen.
We should live a life so that people will come and want to come and be a part of the homegoing celebration, the last service
Yes, sir.
that you have in that building.
Yes, sir. Amen.
I want to live so.
Right.
I want to live so. I want to touch lives so.
Amen.
I want to help so. I want to love so. I want to care so. I want to save. And I want to touch folks' lives so that when the word get around that Jeff Jefferson is gone,
Come on now.
folks will come from miles around
Yes, sir.
and somebody can have something good to say.
Yes, sir.
Now I know you say, well, it don't matter. It don't matter. It should matter.
Amen.
Because the life you touch,
Yeah.
the life you change, the people you help, those that you was there for, will tell off at the last day. If you here today, maybe you lived a life, attracted a life, and let me just say this. Folks in the world, they'll use you up. And then they'll drop you like a hot potato.
Yes, sir.
But church folks won't do that. Church folks will feed you if you're hungry. Church folks
Yes, sir.
will provide shelter for you
Oh, yeah.
if you're outdoors.
Right.
They all will. Church folks will make sure that you got clothes on your back. Folks in the world won't do that. I want to live so that my life would not be like Belshazzar, a tragic life. If you hear, and as a child of God, maybe you haven't really been putting God first in your life. As a child of God, you've been coming to church, you've been coming, you've been giving, but God really hadn't been first. Can I tell you, God wants to be first.
Amen.
He don't want to be nothing else. First or nothing less. He should be first in your life. He should get the first moment when you wake up. He should get the first part of your paycheck when you get paid. He should get the first day of the week when the week begins. If you put God first, when you lay down and die, God can say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Come a little higher, I'll make you ruler over many. If you're here and you're not a member of the church, if you haven't yet obeyed the gospel, you can become a member today. But once you become a member, you need to stay faithful. You need to stay faithful. You need to stay faithful.
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you something. Don't just quit for any and every little thing, but stay faithful. I mean, just stay faithful. That's all I want to say. Just because somebody look at you funny, don't quit. You didn't quit your job. You still clock in every morning. Just because somebody said something about you, don't quit. They were talking about you on your job and you didn't quit. You still clocking in every morning. Just because somebody overlooked you, don't quit. You didn't quit your job when they overlooked you for the promotion. You keep on clocking in because you need that job. And so is it with the church. You need the church as much as the church needs you, because we all need God. And together we can make heaven our home. If you hear you're not a member of the church, you come out here and believe, repenting, confessing, and being baptized. He'll add you to the church. And then he'll take your tragic life and turn it into a prosperous life. He'll turn it into a godly life. He'll turn it into a good life. Stand on your feet. What you gonna do when the party is over? What you gonna do? Come on.
Without